What's up guys, Xell here, and we're back with another EB01 gameplay video. This time, I will be playing Black Yellow Luffy, and my friend Josh will be playing Sakazuki. Now, typically, this is a pretty bad matchup for Black Yellow Luffy. Sakazuki naturally bottom decks all the things that Black Yellow Luffy needs to be able to combo. However, there's a catch this time. This is actually Josh's first time ever playing Sakazuki. So, with that in mind, I know Jason in the comments is wondering when Josh will get a dub. Will this be the time? We will see and find out. Before we get into it, just wanted to shout out the coffee channel where you can go and support the channel. And of course, liking the video, subscribing, all that good stuff also helps as well. So with that, let's jump right into it. Black Yellow Luffy will go first, one Dawn. We'll go out and play the Garp Searcher. He searches for one of the three brothers, finds any of the pieces that you need as Black Yellow Luffy to go ahead and start the combo. Just figuring out what I want here. Looks like I'll be picking up the Baby Ace. All the babies reveal the top card of your life, and if it's the 5-drop version, the adult version of them, they put it straight to play and buff your leader by 2k, which is what the deck wants to do constantly. That's like the whole point of Black Yellow Luffy. Sakazuki also getting a pretty good start here with the brand new search. Great turn 1 play for Sakazuki. And then he's flipped over a Kuzan, a 7-cost Porcelino, and a T-Bone. Josh is thinking heavily on what he wants to pick up here. I think in most cases, you probably just want the Kuzan. Kuzan's a great card in this matchup. Black Yellow Luffy doesn't really have much removal, so Kuzan just generally gets you that value. As soon as a Kuzan gets to attack, you're pretty happy with whatever he's got, but instead he's gonna pick up the 7-cost Porcelino. During filming, because we filmed these in batches, my friend Toro, who's been playing Sakazuki lately, is off to the side cringing about it, but we'll see if the 7-cost Porcelino ends up being a good pick. And then he's going to go ahead and use the leader ability, discard a Hina to draw a card. And honestly, you know, things are going pretty decent. Having a Hina in the yard is always good. And yeah, so now Black Yellow Luffy, 3 Dawn. 3 Dawn, basically nothing to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and swing 5 at life. It's going to go ahead and quickly take that. So in this matchup in particular, oh, and I go ahead and swing 5 again with Garp. In this matchup in particular, you generally want to counter early. Anything less than 7, you want to counter out early because Black Yellow Luffy in the late game will only swing for 7 and above. Generally speaking, you get swung on for like 7, 8k, 9k, you know, big numbers that generally are really, really hard to guard without blockers. So these first few hits, unless you're really desperate for finding certain cards, you kind of want to just counter them out early, but Josh does end up taking these first 2 hits, which does not bode well for Sakazuki. Again, I think my friend off to the side is not super happy with that decision from Josh, but here we go. Now Sakazuki, 4 Dawn play, is going to go ahead and swing the brand new into the Garp. Goodbye, old man. And deliberating what to do with the rest of the 4 Dawn. And so again, here I would have liked to have had the Kuzan, but instead he's got another brand new to play out. So again, doing more searching, finds a Hina, 7-cost Porcelino, another one, and the Amano Murakumo sword, which is fantastic. Just a way to bottom deck more things, which is always good against Black Yellow Luffy, because it kind of doesn't matter if you KO things from Black Yellow Luffy, because he can bring things back from the yard into play. And then the other 2 Dawn will just go ahead and be spent on the leader. And Black Yellow Luffy really, really wants to be at 0 life. So even if Sakazuki had just swung 5, there would be a good chance that Black Yellow Luffy would just go ahead and take it. Kind of doesn't matter if it's 5 or 7. And then leader ability from Sakazuki discards a Lucci and picks up a Houndblaze. So lots of bottom deck cards in Sakazuki's hand right now. There's the sword, the 7-cost Porcelino, Houndblaze. And yeah, so now Black Yellow Luffy is at 5 Dawn. Is going to go ahead and play out the Hiyori. So Hiyori is a great card because you take the card from your life, and then you get to put whatever you want on the top, which basically allows you to safely assemble a combo if you have it. So I'm going to go out and play out the Baby Ace that I picked up. And guess what? the ace is going to go ahead and sacrifice itself, revealing the top card of your life, which of course is the ace that I just put there. And ace now, because I have 2 or less life, has rush. So now I get to swing for 7 and 8, again, because the leader gets a plus 2k buff from the baby ace as well. So again, here I put on so much pressure because I swing big numbers, and now Josh here is kind of forced to spend 2 cards to not get even lower. So figuring out what he wants to counter with here. And Sakazuki, obviously, if you don't know, the deck does not run that many 2Ks. So with these many big swings, it's kind of hard to defend it all. So yeah, Sakazuki again going to take another life. So already down to 1 life. A little bit scary there. So how is he going to play out this next turn? So 6 Dawn turn. The classic Sakazuki play here is to go ahead and play the Rebecca into Hina, which he's already put into yard, and then bottom deck, but we'll see what Josh does here. 6 Dawn is usually a pretty good turn for Sakazuki. Just gives you a lot of options to play things out, and yeah, so let's see what ends up happening here. He's going to go ahead and use leader ability first, getting rid of that Hound Blaze in hand, picks up a Searcher Tashigi. So yeah, with all that bottom deck power in hand, doesn't really need the additional help from Hound Blaze. Although Hound Blaze is really good in this matchup, you know, when Luffy stacks himself up into a 7k or even 9k leader on your turn, having the additional power from a Hound Blaze is really helpful to punch through. But yeah, go ahead and spend 4 Dawn to play the Rebecca, and then gonna grab the Hina from trash. And I don't think there's any mystery here on what he's playing out. He's playing out the Hina. Gonna go ahead and shrink the ace down to a 1 cost here. And then with it being at 1 cost, puts it perfectly in range for the Amano Murakuma sword that he picked up earlier. Gonna go ahead and bottom deck both the ace and the Hiyori. Well, it looks like he's deliberating, although I think in my head, I think he's already done it. So I already put both of the cards aside. So yeah, Amano Murakuma sword goes ahead and bottom decks the 2 of them. I'm asking on which order. Doesn't really matter in this matchup, although it does matter against some of the other starter deck leaders like Blue Yellow Sabo. Blue Yellow Sabo churns through his deck, so actually it can matter what order you bottom deck things in. All right. So now we're back on the Luffy's turn here. 7 Dawn, gonna go ahead and use 2 to just swing 7 in. Sakazuki just gonna go ahead and use that Rebecca. Doesn't want to spend more cards in hand, and now I play out the 5 cost Sabo, which lets me filter a little bit, draw 2, discard 2. It also has the anti-KO effect, which doesn't matter as much into Sakazuki. You know, Sakazuki just is able to bottom deck things, which is much more powerful, but Sabo is still annoying as a 5/6 blocker. But I'm pretty sure we already know that Sakazuki's just gonna go ahead and bottom deck it. It's just a matter of how he wants to do it. So 1 Dawn, gonna go ahead and stick that Navy HQ down, reducing Sabo down to a 4 cost, and yep, 7 cost Borsalino coming out, what he picked up earlier. Bottom deck's a Sabo. And so you can see here traditionally why this is a problem for Black Yellow Luffy. Like, if it wasn't bottom decking, it wouldn't be as much of an issue, but because it's bottom decked and out of Black Yellow Luffy's like entire game, essentially, it's just so hard to deal with. And Black Yellow Luffy gonna play the Makino, get him down to a lower life, peaks at the last life that he's got there. Now counting some Dawn. But yeah, what I was saying is this matchup is hard because Black Yellow Luffy just eventually, unless you're lucky, you kind of run out of stuff to play. And you can see in my hand there that I've got 2 Moria and mostly just babies. Like, I really don't have any of the 5 costs, and that's really bad because if you run out of the combo to do, you just become a sitting duck, you know? You're just stuck at that 5k leader status, normie status, and it just does not bode well for you. Half your deck's power is in the fact that your leader becomes a 7k or a 9k, and without it, you're just very, very weak. So We play out the ace, and so that should be the spoiler to tell you what's on the top of my life. Luckily, Makino lets you look at all your life, so I already know that there is an ace at the top. We reveal the top card of the deck. And of course, it is that 5-cost Luffy. You can see Josh looking at camera. Oh no! And again, the ace has rush here too. So now I get to swing twice here, and Sakazuki has no blockers on board. So swinging 9 at lead. Josh taking a deep look into his life, picks up another brick, unfortunately, and then another big swing now from the ace. And yeah, look at that hand, it's so bricked up. He has only 2k in counter power there, and yeah, we laughed about it. It's really rough stuff there. And you can just see how small decisions in the early game can really come to haunt Sakazuki there. And yeah, even though Sakazuki definitely favored this matchup, I got tremendously lucky on my side as Black Yellow Luffy. Like, had the game gone on basically 1 turn more, I would have been in such deep trouble because I ran out of 5 costs. So I would be at the mercy of my next draw in order to have found something to combo with. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Sorry, Jason, the dub from Josh is going to have to wait a little bit longer. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.